Well, for those of you who don't know who this old bugger is, let me fill you in. You should know. Sorry, it's bright as all hell out here. This is Deng Xiaoping, and he's the father of Shenzhen. Used to be the leader of China a while ago, back in the sort of Reformation. I'm not going to bore you with politics, but old Margaret Thatcher used to privately call him that vulgar old bugger due to his horrible spitting habit. So I thought, how about I crack open a beer, because I happen to, you know, be carrying a shitload on this rubbish funny little e-bike of mine. I actually happen to have a bunch of beers here, so I think I'll crack open a beer to this vulgar old bugger over here for creating this city that I like so much. So cheers to you, old Deng, you vulgar old bugger. Well, hey there guys, and welcome to another episode of What's Happening in China. So, what exactly is happening in China on the streets at the moment? Well, for one thing, the big military parade thing's all over up in Beijing, so things have calmed down. Leading up to it, there was a lot of crackdowns on the usual goings-on. I'll explain a little later. Now that has got to be literally one of the worst jobs in the world. Standing in a glass box the whole day. You see, basically leading up to the big military parade, there was a huge crackdown. Obviously they were worried about maybe terrorist activity, or you know, just in order to make sure that everything went smoothly. You know, there was a much increased police presence, and not just up in Beijing but all over the country, and you know, security checks were put up on all the roads, and you know, just in general it was quite a hairy time. You know, there's a lot more scrutinizing of the public anyway. There's still quite a lot of cleanup going on around here, because there's a thing called Wenming, at least down here in Guangdong. I'm not sure about the entire country, but there are certain cities that are chosen as being the most civilized cities, and they kind of get given an award. So there's about a 5-month period. It's kind of in about its 4th month right now, where they clean up the streets. So that means cleaning up you know, side of the road stalls, food stalls and things that are illegally there. Also taking e-bikes and confiscating them. I have a picture here. The other day I saw them confiscating e-bikes. They do it all the time. So bikes like this, which are actually illegal in Shenzhen, they are basically confiscating them all over the place. So yeah, it does sort of disrupt the usual lifestyle here, but you know, it'll be over soon. So you may be wondering what these people behind me are doing. Well, let me explain. So Mid-Autumn Festival is just around the corner, and that means mooncake time. Take a look at what I got here. Just visited a client, and this happens around this time of year. Like, this is excessive, but they very often will give me mooncakes, and you know, this is basically what it looks like. I have a video all about the Mid-Autumn Festival and mooncakes and all that. In fact, there's a link over here, you can go check it out. But here we have mooncakes. Yeah, go check out that other video if you're really interested. But these things are incredibly heavy, and you eat one of them, you feel full. Anyway, because Mid-Autumn Festival is coming around, there are a couple of things happening, like those people burning stuff on the side of the road. Well, Mid-Autumn Festival is approaching, as you can see. Some people burning some stuff. You know, they tend to burn things for their ancestors, you know, like paper money, or yeah, that's what they're burning here, joss paper. Now, it is somehow linked to the Mid-Autumn Festival. I'm not entirely sure how, because I think they're probably from a rural area, and I know that you know, in some rural areas they still do sort of offerings to the moon and stuff like that. You know, that's the thing about China. You've got all these different customs from all over the place, so you never really know exactly what's going on. It could also just be that they're offering something to their ancestors, who knows. But I've been noticing it more and more around this time, building up to the Mid-Autumn Festival. So guys, I think you may have noticed a slightly different approach on this video. I'm more or less going back to my vlogging roots here, you know. It's really difficult for me to lug around my big DSLR and make videos, so I've gotten a new camera for doing this kind of on the street, more or less discreet filming. So I'll be doing a mix of both. Just trying it out. Let me know what you think about the format of the new video. Do you like it? Do you prefer it to what I've been doing previously, or do you hate it? Just let me know. And now it's time for us to talk about what's up and coming. So guys, I'm going to be very candid about the next section here. Basically, you know, as I get more and more subscribers and more people are taking notice of my channel, I get contacted more and more by people who want to try and advertise their products, or, you know, who are doing something in China and they want people to know about it. And up until now I've always refused, because I'm certainly not a sellout, and I'm not the kind of person who would feel comfortable pimping someone's product, or, you know, putting out, like, telling about people's events or whatever, because my videos are genuine, honest videos about life in China. I'm not here as an advertising platform for anybody. And, you know, I get kind of irritated when people leave links in the comments saying, check out my new thing, or check out my channel, or whatever, you know. Anyway, I decided, why not just start a series? You know, all these people that contact me, or people that I know of that are doing things in China. I thought, why don't I start a series about other foreigners who are doing interesting things in China? And that's because I want you guys out there to know that there are things to do here other than teach English, right? So I've interviewed a couple of people, so I've got some footage already. There's a group up in Beijing that are trying to launch a Kickstarter. They're doing some sort of a bilingual sitcom. They're trying to. It's not really my cup of tea, but, you know, all the power to them for trying. If you guys want to know, I'll leave a link in the description below and you can go check it out. I got a guy who runs a bi-weekly event here in Shenzhen for expats to get together and get to know each other and sort of network. I've interviewed him and I'll have a video up shortly about that. And I met a guy up in Guilin who makes his own rum here in China, so that's kind of interesting. So I'll be putting out a series. I haven't thought of a name yet, but you'll see as I figure it out. I'll put them up, and it won't be very often, but I'll put up an episode every once in a while, sort of featuring somebody who's doing something interesting in China. Alright guys, so that's basically it. I'm preparing for this big adventure that's coming up, so that's taking most of my time. But I'll still keep making the videos, and as always guys, until the next time, stay awesome.